what we tried to do in this committee report was that, look, once the presiding officer has finished the elections, votes have been cast and counted and entered in the EC8A, which is the primary source of election result. What you do in collation, you are just adding and subtracting. The primary evidence of who won an election is the EC8A. Once you have done that, in our proposal, original proposal, we said, okay, let the presiding officer take a picture and send or transmit electronically, transmit that to the INEC, the IRF portal. All presiding officers. By doing so, what we thought was that we were, providing an opportunity to give transparency. So anywhere you are, you watch, you will see the various results from the polling units all across.
So why did the Senate deliberately refuse to include the words real time if transparency was the goal?
Well, look, that's why I said what happened in the Senate last week was unfortunate. Unfortunate because when the House had passed it and were expected to also pass the same thing, but then some concerns were raised. I hear about whether if we passed it, it could result in challenges in areas that had no network.
But you guys had already consulted INEC.
We had already consulted.
And INEC said they could do it.
Exactly. Exactly. Which was why it was so shocking to all of us who participated, and also Nigerians were rightly outraged.
Absolutely.
The system we are operating, Charles, is that Nigerians are not voting electronically. Okay? You vote electronically when you go, you press, you vote, and then your vote, that singular vote, adds up in a portal. That is electronic voting. So in that context, you can talk of real-time monitoring, real-time, meaning that as the votes are coming in, you are seeing it. That is real-time monitoring of votes.
Yeah, but I still don't understand why you put real-time
No, wait, I'm coming.
Okay.
It's never too late to correct something. When you vote, the way it is now, after voting, the presiding officer enters the result, the witnesses, the agents will sign, and he gives copies to security and to everybody. Thereafter, INEC has a system by which the presiding officer and every presiding officer in the country sends a copy of that polling result to the IRF. That is good enough for us. That's what we wanted to achieve. And by today's decision of the Senate, we have achieved it. Now, if I were a member of the conference committee, I would vote to adopt the House version. And I call on all members of the conference committee, the conferees, which I'm not one, to adopt the one that all of us in the joint committee had adopted, which the House passed. When they brought, the majority brought the motion for rescission. That is to review their earlier decision, which created this uproar. Of course, we can't be opposed to it.
Right.
And then when they read the terms of the rescission, it meant a return. It meant that there will be mandatory electronic transfer, which was what we wanted. But they insisted on a proviso to say that in the areas where there's network failure. Now, where there's network failure, then the primary EC8A, which we have been using, should be evidence of the result. I don't agree with the provision, the proviso that has been included. I don't agree with it.
But you accept it?
No, because you see, Parliament works on the basis of majority.